Good morning. Please come in. Good morning, Likit. Good morning, Shailaja. Good morning, Obedullah. Good morning, Sandhya. Good morning and have a good day. Happy. Hi, Hadia. Happy. Good morning. Farhan, good morning. Prashant, Yashaswini, good morning. Happiest morning to you too. Arjun, good morning. Alisha, good morning. Pavan, good morning. Chaitanya, good morning. Avinash, good morning. Ismail, good morning. Smita, good morning. Reuben, good morning. Yashaswini, thank you for the smile. Pavi, good morning. Sarika, good morning. Aslam, my goodness, so much of tea and coffee I cannot drink, man, but thank you. Tejasri, good morning. Pavan, good morning. Madan, good morning. Sheikh Afu, good morning. Dhanush, good morning. Harsha, Anuradha, Umesh, Bharadwaj, Bandesh, good morning. You're welcome. Sagar, good morning. Kavya, good morning. Ajay, Maunesh, Shruti, Omar, all good morning. Yeah. This is a new semester. Good morning. Smile, everyone. Yeah. Priya, good morning. Nayana, good morning. Sandeep, good morning. Harshita, Meena, good morning. If I miss somebody, sorry. It was a little fast. Yeah. Good morning. I hope you had a nice break. And Deepika, good morning. Nayana, good morning. Excuse me, Vidya Shri, good morning. See, Deepika, I waited for your number for quite some time, man. It's okay, I'll give you some other chance sometime, okay? Nagesh, good morning. Ari, good morning. Dhanlakshmi, Srikanta, good morning. Marwa, good morning. Yeah, all of you, good morning. How are you all? Viresh, good morning. Jairam, good morning. Okay, shall I start? Rachana, good morning. Shall I begin? Okay. Palwasha, good morning. Yeah. Um yeah, class. Okay. Good morning. Now, I'm going to teach you a subject called operations research. All right. What is operations research? All right. Yeah, Suma, Badrish, good morning. See, in a business, there are various functions that a business has to do. It begins with, let us look at it like this. It begins with procuring or purchasing raw material. Now, when you buy raw material, Ramya, good morning. When you buy raw material, you have to buy very good quality raw material at the best price possible. You cannot compromise on the quality just because the price is low or just because the price is high. You cannot say. So you have to look for the quality first, and after you see the quality, you're convinced about the quality, you must see the reasonable price. So this requires some research. When you buy, Isan, Prajwal, Vinay, good morning. When you buy at a reasonable cost, automatically your production cost, overall production cost will become lower. If you pay too much or over more than necessary for the raw materials, what will happen? Your overall cost of production will go up. Okay, wait one second. Yes, I think that is Emmanuel. Emmanuel, Chaitra, all good morning. Yeah. So you have to be careful about how much you invest in the product. Whatever you invest in the product, in the making of the product, adds up to the total production cost. Now, this makes the per unit product, per unit cost of the product costlier, which means you have to sell at a higher rate. See, when you sell at a higher rate, if you are a monopoly, you may get people to buy. But when you have competition, it becomes very difficult. Rahul, yes, good morning. Suvarna, I think, good morning. Yeah. So, anymore, I will not say good morning. Good morning to all of you. Prashant, all of you, good morning. Yeah. Now, Obaidullah, where is Obaidullah? Obaidullah has to take cognizance of the attendance. Now, as I told you, a business has to be very careful in what amount of money it invests in the cost of the product. Now, what happens is per unit cost of the product becomes costlier. This means if you are a monopoly, people will buy. If you are not a monopoly, then competitors' products will become cheaper than yours. If in quality they are as good as your product, automatically what happens? The customers will go in for the competitors' products. So this will leave you at a disadvantage. All right. So in operations research, right from the procurement of raw materials to production to submitting, to sending the product in transit to customers, all these operations have to be done in the least, cheapest manner possible. Cheap doesn't mean, use things that are not qualitative. Cheap means, I don't mean cheap, in the most economic way possible. This will save you total production cost. All right? Yes. Zahid, Zabiullah, Obaidullah, Bhumi, Prashant, Suvarna, all good morning. Now, this will leave you with a total production cost that is reasonable. All right? Class, in case you cannot hear me if or any other issue, please immediately write here. Okay? I hope I'm clear so far. So today we are doing operations research, and operations research aims at doing all the operations of a business in the most economical way possible. Sometimes we call it the optimal way. Optimal need not be ideal, but in the given circumstances, what is best is called optimal. All right? What is best means quality wise, it has to be good, it has to be economical comparatively. All this inclusive is an optimal way. There are various chapters in operations research. The first chapter I'm going to deal with is called transportation. All right. Now, transportation involves the cost of transportation of goods from the factory to the place of sale. Now, it can be like this. If there is a manufacturer who has customers all over India and his factory is in Bangalore, Bangalore being South India, suppose a North Indian firm wants a lot of products, it becomes difficult to send immediately within the stipulated time to Delhi. Therefore, this manufacturer, All India manufacturer, will keep a warehouse somewhere near Delhi, imagine. So he has a warehouse in Delhi where the finished products from the Bangalore manufacturing company goes to the warehouse in Delhi. When North Indians want the product, then from the warehouse we send it to all parts of North India. Suppose you have one warehouse in Gujarat for one part of India. For the east coast, maybe near Chennai, you have a warehouse. Or from Bangalore itself, it goes. So, from the factory to the warehouse, from the warehouse to the stockist, from the stockist to the retailer, everything transportation costs are involved. So, in the transportation problems, we try to find ways and methods of transporting from a place to a place in the cheapest means possible. I hope you understood this. Okay. Now I'll show you a typical transportation problem, the format, and you have to. There are various ways in which we do transportation problems. Today we will do the northwest corner rule. Here we will do problems where imagine there are four warehouses or three warehouses. From the warehouses, we have to send to departmental stores in Bangalore. Warehouses are all over Bangalore. The departmental stores are all over Bangalore. So your duty is to find the cheapest way and the best way to send from the warehouse to the destinations, to the departmental store. Then it also says that there are some constraints. The constraints are that suppose you want toothpaste tubes and these toothpaste tubes are differently stocked in different warehouses. So one warehouse may not be able to supply all that is required in all the departmental stores. So we have to take from all the warehouses. But there may be shortage of supply in one warehouse, there may be excess in another warehouse. So you have to balance the supply, first thing. Secondly, in the departmental store, depending upon their demand, they will say, this is my requirement for stock. So the requirement of the toothpaste tubes in each departmental store will be different. So now you have to understand that in transportation problems, we take goods or products from some place to some place. All right? From we call it as source. So from the source to a destination we have to take. Please remember in transportation problems, once again I'm telling you, these are basically where we have a source and we have a destination. We have different sources and each source has different supply. The supply of each source will differ from each other. So you have the source, please remember you have the source, you have the destination, you have the supply, and fourth, you have the requirement for the destination. Every departmental store does not require the same amount. All right, same amount of products. So you have four things. Source has a supply. Every source has a supply. There's a constraint. There is not unlimited supply. There is so much supply only. Then every departmental store has a requirement. So the requirement also is your constraint. You cannot give more than the requirement. Then you're causing idle money. You're overstocking, which is wrong. All that is overstock products can go bad. Your money will be blocked. It will be idle cash, which is not correct. All right. So you have a source with a separate supply. Second, you have a destination with a separate requirement. Now, there is the third thing. This is the fifth thing. The fifth thing is the cost. There is a particular cost involved to go from one warehouse to a particular departmental store. Warehouse 1 to departmental store 1, there is a particular cost. Warehouse 2 to a departmental store 1 or departmental store 3, there is a separate cost. So in your problem, you're given the source and the source has a restricted supply. You're given the destination and the destination has a constraint of requirement, and you have a price. So your problem will basically be allot the supply to the requirement. Allot the supply from each source to the requirement of each destination. Finish the supply, fulfill the requirement. And then you have to do a table from where to where, at what rate, and how many units, so total cost. With this, we conclude the problem. Now, how are you going to allot is the next question. How are you going to allot is by means of different methods. We will do one method at a time. Today is basically a nice method called northwest corner rule or northwest corner method. Before I go into the method, I have drawn a format of a problem. As I show the format, I would like you to draw this format. Ravina, good morning. This is the format of the problem. See, the first column you put source. All right, draw this please. First column is the source. I have left 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, meaning I intend to put here warehouses. Right, please draw source and draw 3 rows, and the 4th row you write requirement. This is the source. Now I'm going to write under the source W1, meaning the warehouse 1, and W2 and W3. So here I have source W1 meaning warehouse 1, warehouse 2, warehouse 3. In this problem, I am going to give you supply from 3 warehouses. So write here source W1, W2, W3, and last you write requirement. Now next you do 1, 2, and 3 columns. Common heading for the columns is destination. Alright, I repeat, do 1, 2, 3 columns for destination. Now I am going to take this paper away and I am writing destination. Destination will be D1, D2, and D3 for this problem. So destination is D1, D2, and D3. And the last column here is called the supply column. Right there, supply column. I'll explain again. You have the source. First column is the source. W1, W2, W3 are the 3 warehouses. This is the requirement. I'll explain what is the requirement. Then you have D1, D2, and D3. That is from the sources W1, W2, W3. We want them to go to D1, D2, D3. Now the requirement here will be what D1, D2, D3 requires, but don't write it now, you will get confused. So we have the sources and we have the destination. Now this is the supply. What supply? W1 will have this much supply. Now I'm going to write the supply of W1. I hope you have finished drawing. So I'm going to write an imaginary amount. This whole problem will be imaginary. So good morning, Netra. I'm going to write an imaginary amount in the supply, which will mean it is the supply capable from W1, meaning the stock that is there of, say, our toothpaste examples in W1. So I'm going to put here 100, which means W1 has, warehouse W1 has 100 toothpaste cartons supply. It can supply 100 toothpaste cartons. All right. Now I'm going to give a supply to W2. I'm going to make it 80, and I'm going to give another 70 to W3. See clearly now. Warehouse W1 has a supply of 100. Warehouse W2 has a supply of 80. Warehouse W3 has a supply of 70. I hope I'm clear. Warehouse W1 has a supply of 100. Warehouse W2 has a supply of 80. Warehouse W3 has a supply of 70. Now I'm going to fill this column down here. D1 has a requirement how much? D2 has a requirement how much? D3 has a requirement how much? See, here you will get the total supply. I'm going to write the total supply there before I proceed. 100 plus 80 plus 70 is, Bindu, good morning, 250. See, I'm going to give the grand total of the supply in the last column. Now I will fill in this requirement. D1 you tell Pavi, you tell Obedullah, because Obedullah is giving attendance. Now D1 requirement imaginary, I will give 90. D1 requires 90 cartons of toothpaste. The next one I will give, say, 80. Again I'll give 90. D2 has a requirement of 90. Now I want to give a balanced problem, meaning supply is equal to requirement. The supply we have is 250, isn't it? We have 250 supply. So I want to give in this problem requirement also 250. So 90 plus 90 is 180. 180 and 70 is 250. So there are problems where there are problems where supply is not equal to demand, or demand is not equal to supply. All right, demand is not equal to supply. or supply is not equal to demand. But what now, because it is the first problem, we will not complicate issues till we learn. So again, I'm showing you this. See, I have here source W1, W2, W3. This each one, W1 has a supply of 100, W2 has a supply of 80, W3 has a supply of 70. Total supply 250. I hope I'm clear. Now D1 has a requirement of 90. D2 has a requirement of 90. D3 has a requirement of 70. So 90 plus 90 plus 70 is 250. And this 100 plus 80 plus 70 also is 250. So we call this a balanced problem. All right, everybody. Now, I want to give, you may say, ma'am, the columns are blank. Now, whatever I fill in the columns is the cost, okay, of transportation. So I will give, see here, I'll give some numbers. I have given some imaginary numbers. For example, this 4 is from W1 to D1. It takes 4 rupees. This is the cost of transportation. From W1 to D2, it takes 5 rupees. From W1 to D3, it takes 3 rupees. These are the cost. Okay. Now, see, for example, what is 4? 4 is from W2 to D2. 4. From W3 to D1, it is 5. From W3 to D2, it is 3. And from W3 to D3, it is 4. From W2 to D1, 6. To D2, 4. To D3, 6. Okay. So this is a typical transportation problem. To make it things simple for you, I wrote an imaginary problem in front of you only. Now we are going to do allotment. Now, if you understood well so far, I want Bindu and anybody. Pavi, don't want Pavi. Triven and Bindu. Okay, give me a thumbs up to make sure for me to understand that you have understood the problem and I can go and work out the problem. All right, ready? Give me 1 or 2 thumbs up. Now, I'm waiting. All ready? Give me a thumbs up, guys. Can you see this? Northwest corner rule. North, I'll write again. Doesn't look as if you can see, no? Somebody give me a thumbs up, man. That you understood. Now we will work out the... Thank you. Okay, now we will do the problem as per the northwest, thank you, northwest corner rule. Okay, write down northwest corner. Thank you, thank you. Very nice. I love your thumbs up. Yeah, shall we go ahead? Very good, very good. My lovely children. Okay, northwest corner rule. Write down northwest corner rule. Yes, Bindu. Lots of thumbs ups I got. Very good. Now, see, northwest corner means imagine yourself in Bangalore. Where is north? Up. Okay. West is left. Okay. So, we have to, the northwest corner means upper left corner for your left. Okay. What left? Your left. Okay. So, we start allocating what is requirement from supply. We start allocating the requirement from the supply starting from the corner on the upper left. Which left? Your left shoulder. So here, which will be the first corner? This one, D1, W1, W1, D1, this corner. So you must allot in this corner. How will you allot? What is the requirement of D1? 90. But D1 has to get first from W1 because we have to allot in this corner. This is the first cell that we have to allot. Upper left means the first cell. So in this cell we can only bring from W1. For this cell W1 D1 we can only bring from W1 warehouse. And how much does D1 require? See, W1 warehouse has 100 cartons. Alright? But does D1 require 100 cartons? No, D1 requires only 90. I repeat, D1 requires 90 cartons and we have to bring from W1 because this is the cell we have to allot first as per the northwest corner rule. So W1 has 100 but D1 requires only 90, so we will give D1 90. And how I will give D1 is I will make a small square on the end and I will give 90. I have to do three things. When I allot 90, I'll show you. Now, class, see, I allotted 90 here because D1 requires 90. Now, D1 requires nil. Cut off the 0, 90 and make it nil. D1 does not require anything. Whereas you look here, there were 100 units. You gave 90 of this to this to fulfill this 90. So from 100, only 10 remain. Look at it carefully. D1 requirement was 90. According to the northwest corner rule, I have to allot to the first column. So D1 required 90. I gave all 90. It came from this supply, W1 supply. So W1 had 100. I took 90. 10 remained. All right. Now, the next one upper left will be this one. All right. I have to exhaust W1 before I go down. So how many units are there here? In W1 has 10 units. That 10 units I will give here. Whatever is remained in W1, I will give here. I cannot give anything to this entire column. Why? Because 90 fulfills the requirement of D1. So this whole column I cannot allot anything, not necessary. This whole D1 becomes a dummy column for us now. After the first allotment, this whole column we cannot give anything. That is one reason why this W1 D2 becomes the upper left corner for us. Imagine that this D1 is not there at all. There is one more thing we have to do, guys. We have to remove 90 from 250. How much is 90 from 250? 160. So I will cut here and put 160. Actually, if you wish, you can do, in my next class I will do, you can do a fresh matrix and allot. Alright? But this class I don't want too much complications. So we will allot in this one problem itself. I want you to go down and write allocation 1. Right. Allocation 1. Column D1 has a requirement of 90. Please write allocation 1. Column D1 has a requirement of 90. Therefore, "90 units are allocated. Therefore, 90 units are allocated to cell CELL. This each one is called a cell, this cell. Therefore, 90 units are allocated to cell W1 D1. 90 units are allocated to cell W1 D1 from the supply of W1 of 100. So 90 units are allocated to cell W1 D1 from the supply of W1, which is 100. Now 100 minus 90 is equal to 10. 100 minus 90 is equal to 10 are left. 10 are left in the supply of W1. 10 are left in the supply of W1. All right. Next line. Since the requirement of D1 is completely fulfilled, column D1 cannot be allotted anymore. Column D1 cannot be allotted anymore. The next allotment has to be in W1 D2 column. W1 D2 column. I repeat, the next allotment has to be in W1 D2 column, because now W1 D2 becomes the upper left corner. W1 D2 becomes the upper left corner. Okay, because W1 D2 becomes the upper left corner, northwest corner actually. Shall we go ahead, everybody? Okay, now look here. For W1 D2, it has to come from W1 only. W1 has only 10 left. So if you see the requirement of D2, 90. But we can give in this column only from here. And there are only 10 units. So I will allot 10 units here first. I will remove this 10 and make it 0, so that W1 supply will be exhausted. And here out of 90 I can give only 10, so 90 will become 80. So I will show you step by step. First I will allot 10. All of you do that. This, allot 10. Next, cut off this supply and make it 0, this 10. Because from there we gave no, so cut off and make it 0. See, the next step I showed you, what I did, I cut off and I made it 0. So W1 has no supply anymore. We cannot give any more to this row. There is nothing left. See, 90 plus 10, 100. 100 was there, it is all allotted. So this column we cannot allot at all. Why? For this column it has to come from here. There is one more thing we have to do. First we allotted here, we cut off here, then we have to cut this. 90 out of 90, 10 is fulfilled. So I cut there and put 80. Okay. Similarly, this one also has to be adjusted. 10 no, cut there and put 150. Yeah, I have no place. Okay, so I repeat, I gave 10 here first. Then I went here and from supply 10 was there, it's removed, so this 0 I cut and made. Also I went here to the requirement, now there's only 80. Now your next confusion would be, which is the next upper left corner, ma'am? Here or here? It is very easy, this one or this one, because this one is already gone. D1 is already gone. We have fulfilled 90. So this whole thing does not require anything. So it becomes D2 and D3 only. Here we gave 5. Which is the next corner, ma'am, you'll ask me. Is this one? Yeah, you cannot give here. Why? There is 0. So naturally you will come to this column. Understand? So this column, that is W2 D2, is the column to allot. That becomes the upper left corner. Now before we go ahead, write down allocation 2. Allocation 2. Cell number, cell CELL number W1 D2, cell number W1 D2 becomes the upper left corner. In brackets write northwest corner. W1 D2 becomes the upper left or the northwest corner. We allot 10 units from W1, we allot 10 units from W1, which makes the supply of W1 exhausted or zero. The supply of W1 becomes zero or exhausted. Okay. Next continue. The requirement of D2 is 90. Now it becomes 80. The requirement of D2 is 90. It becomes 80. You can write this later if you want. Okay. The grand total becomes 150 now. Now, class, one more thing I want to tell you. See, now the grand total is how much? Don't write. Grand total is 150. 80 is left here, 70, 150. Similarly, here 80 plus 70 is equal to 150. Okay? Now, the problem is perfectly balanced now. We'll go to the third allocation. Alright? Don't write, we'll allocate first. I told you here we cannot give, so your doubt will be here or here. Right? Just as I made this D1 dummy, whole W1 will be dummy. Why? Because it is 0. Why is D1 dummy? The requirement is fulfilled. Why is W1 dummy? Because the supply is exhausted. Now you have 1, 2, 3 and 4. Only 4 cells to be allotted. And your upper left corner or northwest corner is this one, W2, D2. Now look here, there are 80. And fortunately for us, there is 80 here. All 80 I am going to give here. Alright, I'll do step by step. See, the requirement for D2 is now 80. W2, I have to take from W2, there is 80. So I'll allot all the 80 in W2 D2. First I will allot. I'll do step by step. First I have allotted. Okay. Next we will go here and make this 0. W2, from where I got this 80, I got from here. So this one came here, it got exhausted. W2 supply is exhausted. So I will make 80 into 0. Alright. Now the second step I made 80, this one, into 0. The next step is I must make the requirement as 0. The third step is the requirement as 0. That 80 is given, so requirement is 0. Whole D2, the supply is, requirement is exhausted. D2, see, I allotted, first step is 80, I allotted. I made the supply as 80 minus 80 is equal to 0. Then D2, here 80 was there, the requirement is 0. So you cannot allot anything to D2 column because entire D2 is finished. The requirement is fulfilled. You do not need any more in D2 column, just as we did for this one, D1. Similarly, W1, we have exhausted the supply. W2, we have exhausted the supply. So all that is remaining is this cell. As you can see, D3 has 70, and here W3 also has 70 supply. So first I will allot, wait, before I allot, I'll talk to you about the third allotment. Write down. Allocation 3. Allocation 3. cell number W2D2, cell number W2D2 becomes the northwest corner. Cell number W2D2 becomes the northwest corner. D2 has a requirement of 80. D2 has a requirement of 80. W2 has a requirement, has a supply of 80. W2 has a supply of 80. Hence, allocated. Okay. Remember to do the grand total. 150 minus 80, let it become 70. See, 150 minus 80, it became 70. The grand total I'm talking about, this one. Okay. Shall we go ahead and do the last allotment? Naturally, it is for W3D3. This is the last cell left. You have to take from W3, there is 70, and D3 has a requirement of 70. So I'll do step by step. I'll allocate 70 in this cell. I'll do step by step. First, I allocated 70. Now I'll go and cancel this and make it 0. See, I made this cell into 0. 70, 70 became 0. Third step, D3 all has 70. I'll cancel this and make it 0. Okay, right. Allocation 4. Allocation 4. Cell number W3D3. Cell number W3D3 becomes the northwest corner. Cell number W3D3 becomes the northwest corner. 70 from W3, 70 from W3 supply have been allocated to cell number W3D3 requirement of D3 is completely fulfilled. Requirement of D3 is completely fulfilled. Don't forget to cancel the grand total. 70 becomes 0. It is 70 here becomes 0 here. Okay. Now our problem is over. I hope you understood. So the allocation 1, 2, 3, 4 allocations we have. Now, I have to tell you something else. Look at this. You write this. N is equal to number of allocations. N is equal to number of allocations. Write down. Next, m plus n minus 1 is equal to number of columns. M is number of columns plus n. N means number of rows. Number of rows minus 1. Number of columns plus number of rows minus 1. Write this. If n is equal, wait 1 minute. If n is equal to m plus n plus 1 minus 1, it is a non-degenerate. Sorry, I made a mistake. ER was missing. If n is equal to m plus n minus 1, it is a non-degenerate initial feasible basic solution. Optimality test may be done. Write this first. Okay. Now let us see in our problem. How many allocations we did? N, capital N. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our problem is N is equal to 4. Correct? N is equal to 4. We did 4 allocations. Correct? How much is M? M, how many columns are there? D1, D2, D3. 3. N, W1, W2, W3. 3. So, M plus N minus 1 means 3 plus 3, that is 6, minus 1 is equal to 5. N is not equal to M plus N minus 1. Okay? So, the optimality test cannot be done. Optimality test is a little long and it takes time to understand. So, optimality test I will not do now, we'll do later. Anyway, for this problem, you cannot do. N, capital N is not equal. Capital N is only 4, isn't it? And M is 3, N is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, minus 1 is 5. So allocations are only 4. So 5 is not equal to 4. So optimality test cannot be done. It is not a non-degenerate problem. Alright, it is not a non-degenerate problem. So we have to do something called a table called the transportation cost. For this, you have to rule like this. Please rule calculation of transportation cost. Calculation of transportation cost. Cell number from to units rate cost. 6 columns. Once again. My Mac was not charging. I got worried. Okay, ready? You all are ready? Now, how many allocations were there? 4. So, carefully we will do. The first allocation was W1, D1. So, what is the cell number? W1, D1. Right here, cell, the first one, cell number W1, D1. From where? W1. To where? D1. How many units? 90. Rate is the number in that cell, 4. I'll just show you one. Wait. I'm talking about this fellow. W1, D1. So cell number W1, D1. From W1 to D1, 90 units at the rate of 4. So 90 into 4, 360. See clearly. What is the next allotment? W1, D2. So, I'm ruling. If you don't have lines, please rule, because these are numbers which shouldn't go up and down. So, the next allotment was W1, D2. I'm writing W1, D2. Obviously, from W1 to D2. Obaidullah, it is not compulsory. This is the first problem. You may get confused after some time. That is why I told you to write. And I will also train you how to answer for the exam. Today you are doing first time, no? For that I told you to write. Okay. Okay, now I'm talking about the second allotment. It is W1, D2. Obviously from W1 to D2, how many units? 10 units at the rate of 5 rupees. That will be 50. We are talking about W1, D2. Okay, now I'll go on, rule a line. I'll go on to the third allotment. Third allotment was W2, D2. W2, D2. From W2 to D2, we gave 80 at the rate of 4, so 320. The last, we have only 4 allotments. What about cost of? Wait man, I'm doing now. Shruti, I'll tell you. See, the solution you find now, no, by allocating this, the solution you find is called the initial feasible basic solution. Okay, it is feasible, no, according to us. We gave all the supply to the requirement. Okay, now transportation cost I'm doing, no man. Ismail, where are you? Okay, now I'll do the fourth one. There are only 4 allotments. So the fourth allotment is W3D3. So it was from W3 naturally to D3, and it was 70 units at the rate of 4, 280. Now do the total. I'll show you what I did. What cost is 50? Where cost is 50? No man. The small number is the cost. Aslam, no. Who said 50? 10 into 5. It's correct, man. Where you got 50? Oh, total cost you're saying. Okay, I got worried. Okay, you're like faster than me. Very good. So the total transportation cost is equal to okay. So we have completed successfully one problem in transportation. It is a northwest corner rule. All right. Tomorrow, in my next class, we will do one more transportation problem with the same method. All right. With the same method, quickly we will do, and then we will go to the next method. There is another method called column minima method. That is the minimum in each column we have to see. First column, which is the minimum, we have to allot, then like that. The next one is row minima method. That is the minimum in the row. And the third one, next one is least cost method. In the entire matrix, which is the lowest, we must start allotting. All right. So then we have one method called Virgil's method. It is spelled as VOGEL, but we generally say Virgil's method. So that method we have to do. And then you have to learn optimality test. Okay, we'll do thank you, Isan. We'll do optimality test. Okay, when we do the optimality test, you will understand whether the whatever feasible solution we found out now, is it optimal or not. Okay, so Shruti, the whatever solution we got is called the initial feasible solution, basic feasible solution. All right. So whether it is optimal or not, we have to do the optimality test. But for this problem, optimality test means a few steps further we have to do. In a little few more steps are there, easy steps. So once we do that, we know whether the solution is optimal or not. Now you have already, if you know this, already 10 marks is are in your kitty. Okay. If you do the optimality solution also, it will come for 15 marks. All right. Because it is a long problem. According to the time also, we must allot the marks if we go for optimality test. All right. So you already have 10 marks with you. Congratulations, all of you. All of you who have understood, you have 10 marks already in your pocket. Okay? Lucky you. Okay? Okay, class. Yeah. I want to tell you that you will be happy to say in the last 2 months I have written a book on operations research. It will be printed very soon. Okay? Wish me luck. I'm in the final stages of proofreading, and hopefully it will be useful for all of you. All right, the on all this. Okay. Okay, God bless you. Keep smiling, stay safe. Don't go about, don't say corona has come down, I'm going out. No, we don't want to increase it. Follow the rules. What the government says, please do. If it is lockdown, it is lockdown. Okay, we educated people must follow first. All right, not that uneducated don't follow, everyone follows. Thank you, thank you. Hope you all will like the book. Okay, let me see, I'm working very hard on it. It's over, I'm just reading and correcting now. Okay. Yeah, thank you, thank you. God bless. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep smiling. Okay, I'll wind up now. I'll come back for you on Tuesday. Okay. Yeah, Jai Hind and Jai Karnataka.